how to crochet in the round using double crochet. Now to get started, I'm going to chain 5 and then put a slip stitch into the very first chain to make a circle. Once I have my circle, I'm going to chain 2 for my turning chain. Once I have my chain 2, I'm going to put 10 double crochet into the center of the ring. I didn't do this in the other videos, but I'm just going to hold that short strand from the slip knot and crochet it into my stitches. That way it'll be hidden and I don't have to worry about weaving it in later. Now for this one, I've decided to chain 2 at the beginning of my row, but I'm not going to count that as a stitch. I find that when you're working in the round with double crochet, there can sometimes be that awkward gap. And since I'm using finished rows, I'm already going to have a seam and I don't really want to draw attention to it. The best way that I found to do that is to chain 2 and just not count them as a stitch and work on over them. Pretend they're not there. Now that I'm almost at the end of round 1, I'm going to slip stitch on top of that first stitch. So I'm going to skip the chains completely and just slip stitch right there. Then I'm going to chain 2 and turn my work. Now you don't have to turn your work when you're working in the round. I prefer to do it if I want to create a reversible fabric. So for round 2, I'm going to put 2 double crochet into each stitch around. Since I am working in finished rows and not a continuous round, I do have to count my stitches so I don't accidentally work into that slip stitch. So for round 2, I'm going to, like I said, put 2 double crochet in each stitch, and then for round 3, I'm going to have a combination of an increase stitch, being the 2 double crochet, and a regular stitch. And then for round 4, it'll be an increase stitch and 2 regular stitches over the next 2. And for the 5th row, it'll be an increase stitch and then a regular stitch over the next 3 stitches. And that is how you can increase your rows to achieve that perfect circular shape. It's totally up to you if you want to put the increase stitch first and then the regular stitch, or if you want to put the regular stitch first and then the increase stitch. The first method is going to give you a circle and the second method is going to give you more of a hexagon, whatever the shape is called if you have 10 sides. Now here I put 2 double crochet into my last stitch, and if I slip stitch on top of the first stitch, the 2 chains is going to cover that gap a little bit, but I still don't like it because, like I said, it draws attention to the seam. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to undo the last stitch. And instead of having 2 double crochet in that last stitch, I'm going to put my last double crochet into the slip stitch of the first round. That way my stitch count is still right, but I got rid of that ugly little gap. There you go.